Good morning, Nigeria. It's another Tuesday, and as always, the week rolls on with political storm. I am Samson Balogun. This is Daybreak Live, where we pull apart the headlines and examine the powers that shape our nation.
And I'm Anoluwapo Ido. The morning starts with a double punch from the anti-graft front. The Efcc has declared former Minister Timipre Sylva wanted, a major move that's already stirring tension in political circles. But that's not all. In another twist, an Efcc witness says there were no legal breaches in the alleged fund withdrawals by the Kogi State government under Yahaya Bello.
Well, two narratives, one agency, and a reminder that in Nigeria, politics of prosecution, every headline has a subtext. Who is being pursued and who is being protected? That's the question many are asking this morning.
And of course, coming up shortly, Daybreak News will walk you through the top stories shaping Nigeria and beyond politics, policy, and the shifting balance of power.
All right, then we'll dive into newspaper headlines and analysis with insight and depth, cutting through spin and speculation to reveal the stories behind the print this morning.
And in our big story today, we turn our focus to Ibadan, where the Circular Road project has become a battleground of legacy and land. Is it a visionary project derailed by politics or just another costly controversy?
Well, if you were in Ibadan yesterday, and of course around the World Road Gate, you would understand what this actually means. And joining us for that conversation is Sam Ngoko, senior editor with the Nigerian Tribune, and a sharp commenter on governance and development. Expect facts, perspectives, and some uncomfortable truth this morning.
And as always, we'll round up with the Trend Watch, where the nation's charter meets its challenges as it is.
All right, it's Tuesday morning and headlines are already heating up. This is Daybreak Live and we are right where politics meets the pulse of the people. Shall we begin?
Yes, we shall. Good morning to you, Samson.
Good to have you on the show this morning.
It's my pleasure being here.
It's really, yesterday in Ibadan was really busy. Traffic, gridlock in so many places, especially Gates, Iwo Road, and so many other places like that. What they were agitating for is the fact that, the government has, said so many things and done so many things in recent times. But we'll come to that on the big story. But this morning, the former Bayelsa State Governor and former Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Timipre Sylva, was declared wanted. And you would see the picture posted by the Efcc, and then you begin, it begs, this question that a former governor, a former minister, and they say he's wanted. I mean, you know where you can find this man. You cannot all of a sudden, say you are looking for it. But then I'm not ruling out the fact that it is absolutely necessary. This is one of the ways they get to put it out there that, look, this man has done something and we are currently investigating him. So it's fine when the FCC posts things like this. But I'm still not really comfortable about putting it out there. When you are looking for a person, a criminal, for example, I'm not saying Timipre Sylva is a criminal. I'm just saying, when as a paramilitary or military force in the country is looking for a criminal, and you put it out there, we are looking for you, gives him the opportunity to find a place to hide. But when you are not putting it out there that you're looking for such criminal, what it definitely says is that you get him without him knowing that you are looking for him. Then you start putting it out there, oh, we have arrested so person for this reason. That's my opinion anyway. But then, Timipre Sylva being one of the stalwarts of the Nigerian politics, someone who's been there, was former governor, 2 times governor of Bayelsa State, former minister. I mean, he's been there. He knows what exactly is happening at this time. But what exactly will be the problem? The accusation was that he was involved in a dubious exchange of a particular amount of money, and then for that reason, he's wanted. Over $2 million US.
Yeah, and it's to the tune of, I think, 14.8
million.
Yeah, it's quite a lot. Yeah, I don't know where we stand. But there are different ways to also stand in this issue. But I would first allude towards its media aid on publicity and, public affairs wrote, after these particular allegations.
By the FCC.
Yeah, so Julius Bokoru is the special assistant on media and public affairs to Timipre Sylva. And then he mentioned that, the allegations against his principal is politically motivated. And he cited reasons. For one, he mentioned that there was no formal communication that was extended to him personally, that there's no established protocol observed, only a sudden digital proclamation designed. And it would seem, according to him, to inflame public sentiment and manufacture yet another episode of maybe orchestrated hostility, like he put it. I'm trying to check into what he said. And then he mentioned the fact that, for someone who you have just laid claims on to be part of a particular coup, all of a sudden it went from that coup conversation now to to misappropriation of funds and embezzlement. So how do you put those things together? Because you recall in October, the Efcc and some other military officials, went into his residences in Abuja, I think in Lagos as well, and they got his brother and took him to custody. So that's exactly how that panned out. But eventually, they could not find him. And so now the media is coming out to say, this guy is currently receiving treatment in the UK. He's not in the country. And he was so shocked that you did not serve him a notice before posting online. Now, they went on to say, according to the FCC, that whoever finds him should report to the police. And I question the way we do things sometimes. I beg to differ on our approach. This is somebody you can always speak to. Did you even make attempts? I mean, there's no way the FCC will not have his contact. There is no possible way. So if you did not even inform him and you just go online, does it not tell another story? And that's exactly the point the media aid is trying to make. Bokoru, trying to refer to that you don't do things this way. If you want to give someone, when you wanted to give him money, you knew how to call him now. Right. When they wanted to approve that particular money, you knew how to call him, even though he was still in Nigeria at the time. But, you can always find a way to talk to these people. So that's one. On the flip side of the coin is that if I come to the office and I slap you today, Samson, I slap you again tomorrow, and I slap you, and there's nothing happening from the HR, then you should notice there's a systemic error. There's something wrong in the system. I should not slap you the first time, second time, third time, and go scot-free. I should be penalized for my actions. But we see this again. So sometimes I've come to realization to say, we want to eradicate corruption in Nigeria will be to bring a rabbit out of a hat. It's almost so miraculously impossible. because if we say, Timipre Sylva is not the first time. It's not the first offender, according to the FCC, to embezzle money, public funds. We've had series of cases of people misappropriating funds, embezzling funds, and then the government will say, or the FCC will come out to say, this happened, this happened. How is it happening? If we don't look into the system, we keep continuing in this same situation we find ourselves. Because I question, when there's a public fund released for something, what are the internal measures you put in place, the external measures you put in place to ensure this does not happen? What are the accountability strategies the government have to say, okay, this is what if you don't go by this, then we'll probably take you off this project and someone else will take over. Because if everybody comes to embezzle fund, it tells that the system is porous. The system is penetrable. The system is so easy to, what I'm trying to say in essence is make stealing difficult.
Well, to buttress what you just said, you see, it's really not that easy to stop people from stealing unless they re-engineer their minds, because it starts from the mind. Actually, you must have thought of stealing before you actually steal in the first place. So let's put that aside. You see, when in some places I've been to, when projects are to be done, funds are to be dispersed, there is a strict measure when it comes to supervision. Yes, they have given you a project. The money is coming to you. Yes, but then there has to be a level of supervision to all these things. Now, monies are not disbursed at once. These projects are divided into phases, probably the first phase, second phase, and third phase. So you get the first money for the first phase, and then there is a threshold of what you can actually do and what you cannot do on the first phase. Let's say you are expected to finish 30% of the project. I'm just citing this as an instance. Then the money is disbursed to you. You will be monitored if you have actually done up to 30% of that project. Once that is done, then you begin the next phase. After the next phase, you begin the next phase. So it goes that way, and the money is disbursed until the final payment is made, and then you deliver the project. Now, where am I going? Is that oftentimes in Nigeria, nobody supervises anything. I mean, monies are disbursed, and then eventually you begin to, the question is, who is in charge? There was a time in Oyo State where, roads will be made today and tomorrow you will find potholes there. And someone was saying, look, this person is paying handsomely for what is being done in the state. But unfortunately, there's one person that brings out projects, but fails to supervise this project. So for people, they think he doesn't care about quality, but he pays handsomely, meaning that he cares for quality. But the people who are actually being saddled with this responsibility, that they once playing games. unfortunately for him, people thought that was the kind of person he was until, some things happened eventually that cleared him one way or the other. But where am I going is that there should be how we monitor monies released for projects. There should be a strict measure. Just like you said the other time, stealing should be made difficult. But unfortunately, when you look at the Nigerian system, one thing I feel is that people in the civil service, they teach political office holder, either by election or by selection, they teach them how to steal when they come on. Because first of all, when a governor comes into office, he doesn't know anything. He's more or less like someone who's just coming to learn on the job. He might have had experience in one way or the other in some other places, but becoming a governor, that will be his first time. So who are the people who will teach him how to do things? There are people who have been in that position before, and there are also people, the permanent secretaries in these ministries and parastatals. They are the ones who are going to show them, Oga, this is how we do this thing. Oga, this is how to follow. So when they teach those ones how to steal, and they have become bosses on their own, then they now begin to bite the fingers that actually taught them, fed them. So what they will do is, first of all, the PAMSEC they met in the office, they will be sent away. The new PAMSECs that will listen to them. That those ones that are just coming in, then they will be brought on board. Then how will this change not continue if we are doing the same thing the same way and expect a different result? On the other hand, in Kogi State, something else happened, and we just recently were talking about Yahaya Bello, former governor of Kogi State, and he had a successor, Usman Ododo, who's the current, His Excellency Usman Ododo, who's the current governor of Kogi State. Now, there were times Yahaya Bello was to be arrested, but they could not arrest him because he was always in the convoy of a sitting governor who had immunity and still has immunity at the time. So they know, you see, politicians, the first thing they do is they understand the system when they come on board. They try to understand the system. They know the loopholes. There are lacunas and they are ready to plug into it at any point in time. So he knew that a sitting governor, handpicked by him, would definitely have what we call immunity. So he was always with Usman Ododo. In fact, when he went to the Efcc, he went in company of Usman Ododo. And whoever is in his company, just like you have, diplomatic visa or passport, when you travel, there are things they cannot do to you because you are a global citizen, sort of. So that is what happens with these governors. They know exactly. That is why they are always eager to pick someone who would listen to them as their successor when they are leaving office. So regardless of whatever it is, the atrocities they have committed with public funds, that person cannot say a thing, cannot say pim, because he was unpicked. And, you have to be loyal to your boss. And a few times you have seen issues coming out from the predecessor and the successor. It happened in Rivers State between Nyesom Wike and similarly Fubara. Unfortunately, the man is too powerful for Sim Fubara to shut up. So eventually, it was Sim who had to shut up, and then he had to beg his way back to the office, or he had to find his way back to office. Now he's back in the office. Have you had too much of Sim Fubara lately? I don't think you hear so much of him, because now he has been put in his place. The man who was his predecessor, who unpicked him and made him governor, is now obnobbing with the APC, the ruling party. He is the alpha and omega of the PDP. So he's way too powerful for you to actually say you want to do anything. Now talk about Usman Ododo in Kogi State. Do you think Usman will do anything against Yahaya Bello? And he said that there was no wrongdoing, no law breached in fund withdrawal by Kogi government when he was in office. So you took the Kogi people's money, paid the tuition fee of your children, ones that were even not ready to go to school, and then you paid all these monies, and you are saying there was no law breached. I mean, for me, that is capital fraud. I don't know in any other country, I think it is fraud in the advanced countries, but in a country like Nigeria, I don't know which law we are using anymore. Because, in one part of the country, it's also law, it's penal code today, it's that tomorrow, and then we'll come and talk about Sharia. So everything is just messed up. If you want to harness the constitution and embed the Sharia law into our constitution and say, look, we are practicing all this, then let us know. But then it's more or less like some people, they have a different law. You will see in the north, someone will be charged for a particular crime and said, I want to be tried by Sharia law. And someone will be charged in some... And you see, there are discrepancies in the... And there's a loophole in the Nigerian constitution. Unfortunately, we adopted the constitution. We emptied the 1999 constitution into... you see, we really have to go back to the drawing board. Nigeria needs a constitution of its own. a constitution that will say this is the Nigerian constitution, not a constitution we borrowed or we took from the Oyibo people and then said, look, we are adopting this and then let's just make a few changes. We have amended that constitution to an extent that it has refused to be amended anymore. And that's becoming too much. Let's have our own constitution, make stealing, fraud, capital offenses. I mean, there's nowhere in the world where, you know, you steal and then you are being part in the bad. Yesterday there was I think, you know, I was watching the news there, and then there was I think it was in Asia, someone was to be killed for a particular reason, for stealing or something. So it's more or less like, I'm not saying they should be killed.
Capital punishment.
But there should be a capital punishment for offenses like that. Otherwise, we'll continue to have this kind of situation, someone being declared wanted for a reason that, you know, is not that clear.
Not very clear.
Not very clear. And then another one saying, look, I know what I did. It is not against the law. And the Efcc declared him wanted at the point. In fact, not just once. There was about 2 or 3 times they said they were looking for him. Why are we here?
Let me also come to the chase of what you said. It's quite important that what I'm expecting now is that the Efcc would not just call Timipre Sylva. If that was really the reason for calling him to book,
there should be a formal communication.
Every other person
send a note, send a letter,
was also involved,
send an
the
email.
PMs, like you mentioned, the permanent secretaries, the attorney general, everybody that was a signatory to the accounts of that particular funding should be called to book, not just him. Because if they want to be fair, everybody should have their own fair share. If you were a signatory to that account, that means you know it. But if you claim not to know, then we ask you questions again, right? So they should put these things on the table. Let's have a way to finish this. If the issue is all about Timipre, you know, misappropriating funds, let it be settled in court. Take it to the court, take it to everywhere, make it real. Send him a notice. Don't just do things online. I mean, so people now start looking for, I'm looking for Timipre Sylva because I want to get, you know, I want to whistleblow and get something from the Efcc. Maybe they will applaud me that I was the person that got him. I mean, this is not, it's so unbecoming, and it's something that should not happen. Let's have other people who were involved in this particular 18.4 million. I mean, 14.8, I meant to say, $14.8 million is quite a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. You know what that fund can do for the Nigerian
Imagine
people?
What it can do.
I mean, that's
so someone else is taking it into his coffers. For what? For why? I mean, why exactly is the case like this? Why do we have this again and again?
We have gotten to that state in Nigeria where you know, everyone they do things in a way that they feel like nothing will happen eventually. So if there was, and we have seen cases in court that lingered for so long, and you begin to ask, okay, why are we even, how did we get here in the first place? And it's not that the judicial system in the country is weak. They are overwhelmed and overpowered by the number of cases they get on a daily basis. How many judges do we have in Oyo State? How many judges do we have in Rivers State? How many judges do we have in Nigeria in total? And then juxtapose that to the number of court cases they have on a daily basis. They are choked, they are tired. So until we decide to, you know, remove the bottleneck from the judicial system and then unbundle so many things. We were talking about, you know, when you automate the judicial system, it's not difficult to do. Lawyers don't have to come to court before they file a case. It can always be done at the comfort of their chambers or their homes. But you will see them, they will have to be at their high court. Why? Because they want to file a case. We have to get past that stage where it has to be done on site. It can be done remotely. And
that speaks to technology too, because like we were mentioning too, all of those measures that can be put into place to ensure that stealing or theft of public funds is reduced is to use technology. There are algorithms, there are things you use now, there are technological innovations that you can bring on board to say, okay, so one of the things, I think I did a course about project management, and I think at the end, the tail end of every project management is something we call P&E, also P&M, yes, monitoring and evaluation, M&E, yeah. So monitoring and evaluation comes right when you start, at the middle, and at the end of every project. So they are monitoring every phase. So like you mentioned, the first tranche of money has been released. What is it supposed to cater to? So, okay, so is it done? So if it's not done, then halt that process at that time and call for questioning. Let people come and answer the questions.
Explain why why you have failed to do this and that.
Reflect how you've been spending the money. Let it be public enough for everybody to see. And until we get there, we'll still keep hoping that we get a rabbit out of a hat?
Well, that will be the convenient point to just leave this morning. It's a lot to undo anyway. It's a Nigerian thing, and I believe that we'll get to that stage where everything will be done as it should be done. Amen. Not how we want to do it. Because most of the times, if you leave it to how we want to do it, I mean, we are not going anywhere, especially in a country like Nigeria.